Hello, welcome back to another episode of Two Dudes Drinking Beer. My name is Josh.
My name is Alec.
It's Wednesday. Super unfortunate we don't have a guest.
Yeah.
Well, we did, but he
We
canceled.
did, but they did the two dudes drinking beer thing and drank too much the night before, and we're gonna figure it out in the future. So
Today's beer is brought to you by no one. We actually don't have a sponsor today,
whoop whoop.
so you can put your name here and whatever you'd want us to say. Do you want a bottle or a can?
I want a can
Today we're drinking Modelo once again. It's the third time on the show.
because that's what the guest wanted,
It was a special request.
and we supplied to the guest.
We accommodated it. And they're not here, so
So thanks for that.
It's Wednesday. How's it going?
Wednesday, it's going good, man. I'm gonna take a sip of this beer, and then I'm gonna tell you a little bit about what I did and how I got all these fucking bug bites on my hands.
Yeah, we made sloppy joes beforehand. We were supposed to do that on Monday. We ended up not doing that. We ate fish and chips.
It wasn't the move. I had to go somewhere pretty soon after, so
So we just got food to go.
we chose a fast option. And basically,
How'd you get these bug bites?
so the reason was I split pretty soon after the podcast to get all my shit ready for the next day, which is Tuesday, to record Lyndon doing some takes for his play. He's got a play. It's called Into the Woods. It's been postponed due to COVID, as everyone knows. And what they decided to do was, instead of doing the play, because you can't really social distance actors in a play in a theater, they decided to do an at-home cut, and they want everyone to record their parts at home and then send them in, and then
They'll just cut it together.
then they're going to cut it together, and then they're going to post that on Zoom. So they're going to do like a live thing, but it's going to be pre-recorded.
That's so weird.
It is weird, but we'll see how it turns out. And
I feel like the flow would be way off.
well, yeah, because you're not acting with a person, you're just delivering your lines.
Yeah. Is it just like a reading, or are they actually acting it out?
Well, so I was there to record the songs. I think what they're going to do is they're going to all be in the Zoom call acting it out, and then
So it's like a table read.
yeah, but they'll be like in character and shit. And then when their songs come on, they just have it pre-recorded. We recorded like 3 or 4 songs, just like on his balcony, because he wanted a little bit better audio quality for the songs, because everyone's doing it through like their webcams and shit.
Mhm.
So they're like, you could do it through a webcam, send it in, that's fine. Obviously they're not going to hold it against an actor for not having like a studio to go to, but in this case Lyndon had me, so I went over, I recorded his shit, and I left all the files with him. He's gonna send all the files to the producer, and they're going to decide which ones to cut together and which ones they're going to like and not like, and etc., etc. And then they're going to send them back the song that they liked the best performance on, and then he's going to basically lip sync it in front of a green screen, and then they're going to edit that, and then they're going to splice it in between scenes and acts or whatever, I guess. But it should be pretty cool. I mean, it's like the second it's the second way of doing live that I've ever done for audio, so that's pretty cool. I mean, it's basically just all audio is basically all the same. It's like you set up, you record, you go home. But it is pretty cool to see how people are solving their problems with Zoom and with theater. So it's pretty cool to get to see that side of things. And then he wants to do a rehearsal on Saturday. We're gonna do like a whole live setup where I got both of my speakers in now. So we're gonna go try both of my live speakers. We're gonna see how that goes. And yeah, it should just be a good fun time, and just testing everything out. And I'm sure it works, but it's gonna be fun to see. The first thing I want to do is I'm like a child at Christmas. I just want to play with my toys. So when I got the speakers, I just want to go fucking turn them up full blast and see, how they sound. So I get to do that this weekend, and I'm excited.
I mean, you yelled at into one of them.
Yeah, when I first got it, they came with like a shitty like $20, not even $20, probably like a $15 Walmart karaoke microphone. And that's what the PA system is for. Basically, you just plug
Yelling into it.
Yeah, you just plug in a microphone, and if you have to address people, you can do it through there. But I decided to plug it in, and it sounded like shit, but it's probably because of the microphone. but we'll see. It's gonna be cool. I'm excited, and that's all there is to it. I mean, I couldn't imagine the speakers sounding too bad, you know.
Did the fucking time code change?
Yeah,
It's
look how
really
big it is.
fucking big.
It is big. Well, we just
That's really nice.
So,
actually,
it is
for being
super
this
nice.
far away from it.
It is actually super nice. We basically had almost a catastrophic issue with the audio for some
Today's
reason.
gone very wrong.
So bad.
Today.
The guest canceled. The fucking audio didn't work. We got Sloppy Joe's.
Audio stopped working on Tuesday
Really?
because it wasn't working in class.
Oh yeah, you were saying
for that one.
I don't know what happened though.
Yeah, I don't know.
But
It was
everything's
just, like,
different.
the preferences got changed.
We got Sloppy Joe's, and basically since we shot outside, I have bug bites I have like 11 bug bites on my arms. So Lyndon, hire Terminex. Hire someone to spray.
Get citronella candles.
Something, man, because there's spider bites all over my arms. I got eaten up.
Probably
but
not spiders.
whatever it was. Yeah, today's kind of fucking falling apart.
I mean, that's really nice. You
I
can
like it.
very
I'm a
clearly
big
see.
fan.
I don't have to look up at the top of where the header is. And
Yeah, 6 minutes
Try
and
to read
36 seconds, 7 seconds, 8 seconds. I like it. That's
we get it. You can
super
count.
nice. They should even
It's very clear, too.
they should even fucking expand that to see how much more room there is on the bottom. They should do the other markers too. Like they should do everything. Like I feel the same way about
Well, this is an open source program, so I mean,
Well, there should be a way to edit it, but since we just updated it, I'm pretty sure that's one of the updates, right?
probably. I don't remember it being like that. I don't even remember that even just being there. I think because like the smaller ones have been next to it, but
I
don't
do
remember
like that a
seeing
lot,
big
though.
one.
It is super big.
Try not to look at it though,
I'm gonna look at it the whole rest of the
because
time.
you're gonna just think, oh, we've only gone for 7 minutes.
Yeah,
We have nothing to talk about.
We don't have anything to talk about, but
We have enough.
I'm definitely gonna look at that the whole time. And yeah, I'm excited
I shouldn't
because
have told you.
I know I'm excited because I get to work on audio, and I've been working on audio, and that's all there is to that.
I'm excited because this weekend I get to race.
Why do you get a raise?
Well, we talked about it last episode on Tuesday
A little bit.
or Monday for Tuesday. So Raul and I are racing. He issued me a challenge. Well, I issued him a challenge saying that I'm faster than you, and he said, "Prove it. Let's race." So we're racing. Saturday is my birthday. Good old 24.
Happy birthday.
The entire perimeter of my complex is 1.04 miles. So it's like almost the perfect track. Just do one lap. It's a mile. The point
0.04. That's basically it's a mile.
0.04.
Fun
fucking
fact:
doesn't
you
matter.
told me that racing
four
around a
laps on the
football
track.
field isn't actually a mile. It's shorter than a mile.
Yeah, 4 laps on a track isn't a mile either.
So this should actually be more accurate. This is more accurate for sure.
Yeah, it's a mile and change.
But like literally 0.04. It's like 4 cents. So it's like who cares?
Yeah, it's close enough.
Yeah, it's super close. I mean, if it was like a quarter, that's a little different. But it's like it's literally on the nut hair of a mile.
0.4 of a mile. And so a mile is 5,000 feet. What's 0.4 of that?
Of 1,000 feet.
Mm-hmm. Just multiply 5,000 feet by 0.04.
Not 400 extra feet, right?
Let's see how
It's either
close you
40. It's either 40 feet. It's either 40 feet over a mile or 400 feet over a mile.
are. I don't want to half-ass it, so I need to pull up how many feet are in a mile.
Go for it. I'm not good at math in the first place, but
Oh, you are not.
in my head, that sounds pretty much.
5280.
You did 550.
I'm aware. 211 extra feet. Ooh.
Yeah, I mean that's like the side of like a bike lane where the hash starts. If you guys don't know, fun fact: if you're turning if you're turning at a stoplight and you see like there's a bike lane, you'll notice the bike lane starts getting the hash lines. That's 300 feet. So when your GPS says in the next 300 feet, if you notice, it'll start saying in the next 300 feet, the bike lane hash will start hashing up. So you know you're 300 feet from your turn.
So it's a mile and 200 feet. God forbid we run 200 extra feet.
200 extra feet's not a lot.
You don't notice that.
It's not a lot.
So you suggested we do like 3 races.
So here's what I've actually kind of stewed on this for a little bit, and I was gonna say there should be a sprint, an endurance, and a time trial. So this will test all of the things, right? It'll test who's fastest in a short race, who's.
Yeah, but I gotta work all day. I'm off at 6.
I'm just saying this is my thought process of it. if you sprinted 100 yards, it'll show who's fastest for a 100-yard dash.
Me.
If you did an endurance, which would be like the mile, it would show who's faster over endurance.
That one's a toss-up.
And then it'd be a time trial, so it'd be like probably like something cross country, but it would just be one person running it at a time, so there's no other influence of the other person there. So I think with those three elements all accounted for,
Let's do the fitness gram pacer test.
basically it would
That's
give a more
endurance.
true sense of who's actually faster.
We'll just pull up a 10-hour loop with a fitness gram pacer test and just run back and forth. And
Down.
whoever drops out first loses.
Up,
I always used to be so... That's the stepping test.
down. It's the push-up test too. It's all the tests that involve going down and up.
Well,
Up.
you're running back and forth.
Down,
Up.
up,
On every offbeat, step up and step down.
down, up.
Those tests are fucking nightmares for fat kids.
I hated those tests too. Just, I wasn't a fat kid, but I was not in shape. I
Even
was like
fucking doing them in a college PE class, too.
pretty
Was
atrocious.
fucking stupid.
Yeah.
It was like... here we are taking a community college level PE class so we can graduate from community college because it's a required if you're not moving on. And we're doing like the sit and reach tests, like measuring your BMI, how tall we are, how many fucking like steps we can do, like measure our heart rate and shit. And it's like, okay, we're going to do this twice. You're going to do it at the beginning and we're going to see how flexible you can get at the end with your sit and reach. It's like, I'm not training that shit. It doesn't fucking matter.
I'm pretty sure everyone got an A in that class too, by the way.
Except for me. I was the only person.
Well, didn't you drop out? Or you just stopped showing
I
up?
stopped showing up, yeah.
So I'm pretty sure I didn't stop showing up, but I'm pretty sure I missed like 8 to 11 days of that class. That semester for me was a fucking miracle because I basically stopped showing up to all my classes because I'd go out and drink in the middle of the day.
Hello.
With everyone, yeah, at the dugout. But we'd go out and drink, and then I'd show up like the next day, and I'm like, hey, so I missed class, and like the teachers never gave a shit. They're just like, look, as long as you have the work, like, who cares?
I'm a college PE teacher.
Yeah, I'm a college PE teacher is like the sentence you say, and you're just like, oh. That's when you realize the wind is out of your sails. Luck is not on your side.
Yeah.
But anyway, it was like bring cans of food for like extra credit. And one
Food
day,
drive.
yeah, on the very, very last day I brought like 12 cans of food. And each of them were like worth like, I think like 10 points, and it made up all the shit that I missed. And it's like dope. Like that's the biggest lesson I learned, is that not only can you miss every day of class, but you could also buy your way out of it.
Yeah.
And
Some classes, yeah.
you could buy your way out of it with like tissues and cans because you're donating it. And that was the only lesson I needed to learn from PE.
Some classes is offered like when they did the blood drive, so you can go give blood for extra credit.
When I gave blood for the first time, I was in a excuse me, wow. I was in a kinesiology. It was kinesiology or health, something like that. And basically they had a blood truck come, and they're like, if you go donate blood, you'll get 10 extra credit points. And I drank a Monster in the morning. And I was like, fuck it, let's go. And I wanted to, go donate some blood for the extra credit. I donated blood and I almost passed out. And I laid in the truck for like 2 hours. You guys waited outside for me. And I was out for like 2 hours. But like for me, it felt like 10 minutes. Because I was like fading in and out. But basically, I was doing I was squeezing the gag ball. And
Pumping the vein.
yeah. And basically, my arm just, I lost motion of it. Like I couldn't move it anymore. And the nurse was like, just keep squeezing, sweetie. And I was like, I can't feel anything on the left side of my body. And she's like, okay, you had enough. And then, as soon as I think I finished like shy of like whatever they wanted, like whatever the bag was, it was a big bag. I stood up, and then everything just went, whoop, and I was like, excuse me. And there's like this giant black nurse. And I was like, hey man, is there anywhere I can lay down? And this dude, I swear to God, he like takes his hand on a table and just like swipes everything off. Like he literally just like, it's like in a movie where like, we need a medic. And they just clear the table. He just threw everything off. He's like, right here, buddy. And I lay down and they start putting like cold towels on my face. And I was like, that feels nice. And then like, I think I texted Josh or something. And I was like, hey man, I'm gonna lay down in here for a minute. I don't feel so good. And yeah, I saw so many people come in and leave before I was actually like able to stand. And I remember this girl was like sitting across from me and she's like, are you okay? And I was like, yeah, it's just my first time. So that was fun and something I'll never do again.
Yeah, I mean, I've never got blood taken. I would if I had the opportunity. But I feel like everyone always says they take so much.
They do. They take a lot. It's like...
They really take the amount just before you're supposed to pass out.
Really?
Yeah.
That's insane because, I mean, I felt it.
Because it's...
I was also crashing from an energy drink, though, but
yeah,
still.
You definitely did it not very smart.
Not at all.
They take like
I'm going to grab a tissue real quick.
Okay.
I can't do this anymore.
They take like the amount that will essentially not kill you because you need to have like a certain amount of blood in your body just to perform daily functions. And they just go like right next to that threshold. So they basically almost kill you, which is pretty cool. You done? You not snotty?
I'm still snotty. For whatever reason, when I drink that cold beer, this one particularly, we had a beer earlier, but this one particularly just makes me like kind of tense up or close up in the throat. So.
Are you allergic to Modelo?
Probably. It wouldn't surprise me.
That's truly unfortunate.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it definitely seems like a lot of blood. I mean, it's probably like, I mean, the bag is like from your wrist to the elbow. Like it's
So your forearm?
Yeah, it's the size of your forearm. And it's a lot of blood. I don't know. Even when I got blood tested at the doctor, it was like 3 like rather large vials. It's like...
I had 5 taken.
They always take way more than you anticipate. At least for me, I was like, that's a lot of fucking blood.
I had a lot of blood taken for a blood test.
Really?
It was like 5 vials.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was cool. I was just sitting there watching it spurt into the vial, and I was like, yes.
I had to look away, dude, because...
my eyes started to water.
I told the doctor, I was like, hey, just so you know, first time I ever donated blood, I basically passed out. Like, I didn't, like, pass out, but, like, it was damn near on the verge. And he's like, all right, well, just go ahead. I'll tell the nurse and just stay laying on the bed. And when she takes your blood, you won't pass out. And I was like, well, when I did it, it was because of the energy drink. I think it was because of the energy drink. Do you think that's why? He's like, I don't know, probably. And like, I always love, because when you talk to a doctor, they always like,
I'm not a fucking doctor.
Yeah, they never rule anything out until it's like, they don't give you a diagnosis until they're like, my diagnosis is this. But basically... I was like, I think it was because of the energy drink. Do you think that's a possibility? He's like, I don't know, probably. But as soon as someone tells us that, we just assume it's a psychological thing because, like, there's no reason. And that's the thing, too. Like, a doctor knows how much blood he could take from your body and not kill you.
Yeah.
And this dude, when I said that, he was like, well, he's like, the amount of blood we're taking isn't harmful. It's not going to impair you at all. It's not enough blood to alter body function at all. Like, and he studied it forever, so I knew I could trust him. But at the same time, it's also just like, all right, but like, now you're saying I've got something wrong with my head.
That's been known though.
And he's like, well, yeah, just lay down and like it won't be a problem. And then the nurse comes in and it was like the rude woman from earlier, and she's like, sit down here. And I was like, doctor told me to lay down. And she's like, I like doing it this way. I was like, okay. And I was like, I gave her this arm. She's like, I prefer the left arm. I was like, okay. And then she like puts the needle in. I was like, and she's like, are you okay? And I was like, don't fucking bullshit me now. I told you to do 2 things that the doctor told you to do, and you're now telling me that you can't do that because you prefer it, and now you pretend to care. Fuck you.
Well, I mean, she's not trying to hurt you.
She's just trying to assert her dominance as a nurse.
If she prefers a certain way to do something, that means she's probably
She said
good at doing it that way.
she said the vein was easier to find in the left arm, but
Yeah, so go fuck yourself.
no, fuck her.
No, she's just trying to do her job. You're making it harder.
Nah, I'm doing my job.
How about
being a patient.
you don't pass out when you give blood? Work on that.
I can't help it. It was a lot of blood. And you even just said right now, they take as much as they can before you pass out.
Yeah.
So add an energy
do
drink.
better.
Add the crash of an energy drink to that.
Yeah, but you can always fight it.
With what? Another fucking energy drink?
Train your body.
That would
with
kill somebody.
Low blood.
Just
Drain
always.
your blood, pat yourself up, do a intense workout, and fight the fade.
You would pass out.
Fight it.
You pass out.
Fight the fade.
I don't think you understand how this works. This is why you're racing Raul around your block tomorrow.
You're just weak,
Yeah,
and I'm strong.
sure.
Speaking of strong, I converted. Do you remember that Steadicam I made back in the day out of
I do.
iron pipes?
Mm-hmm.
I converted. Do you know what a gorilla bow is?
I don't.
You might have seen ads for it on Instagram or somewhere else, but
Oh, the weightlifting thing?
the resistance bands
Yeah.
in the shape of a bow, and you put it
Mhm.
in. I essentially made one of those. I did a quick little pump today.
You better feel encouraged to not let that thing go.
I mean, I'm holding the iron pipes and I'm stepping on the bands.
Yeah, if you let go of those, bah!
I've learned that lesson a long time ago. A long time ago, I was a child, and it was like an ab roller one, but like with resistance bands. So you had the bands at your feet, and you put it out in front of you, and it came back and hit me in the face. So trust me, I know all about resistance bands,
Damn.
and I know what not to do.
Josh met the resistance.
I learned that a long time ago.
Nice.
So, but yeah, I made my own gorilla bow. I've wanted a gorilla bow because they look fucking cool.
Don't you
They
also
look like they work.
do you still have the pull-up bar that you do in the door?
The door frame one?
Yeah.
No, Nick has it.
Oh. But you got the setup thing?
Yeah. I mean, you could turn, essentially that is a pull-up bar too. You just have to screw it into the door frame. And
So probably not.
Daniel won't let me do that, so
Makes sense.
yeah. I mean, you can make one. It's not too hard. You just need to find your stud and your ceiling
Mm-hmm.
and screw into that and get a pipe and make it. We did that in Arizona. Made our own in a garage.
Nice.
Or what Nick does is he has his weight rack. Just put it all the way up. Put his bar, lifts up his knees and goes.
That's smart.
Because I mean, it doesn't have to be high.
It just has to be a pull-up.
You just have to be off the ground.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can lift your knees,
Have you seen the people who do like pull-ups, but they keep their body perfectly
they just move their arm.
parallel to the ground? It's like all the core strength.
Yeah. Mhm.
Those people are crazy.
It's always like Marines,
Mhm.
people in the Navy.
There's someone I know whose boyfriend does that and like competes and stuff. Did I ever tell you like they own the gym or whatever out in like
In the Marines?
no, just it's fucking for fun. Just does it.
That doesn't sound like fun.
No, it doesn't at all to me either. But you know,
But I mean, if he
people-
competes, I guess it's kind of like a job.
yeah, I mean, they all, like their family owns a gym. So could you imagine like
Do they-
a family of fat asses owning a gym? He'd be like, I want my money back now.
Do they CrossFit?
I don't know what it is. I think it's like
It's probably CrossFit.
I think they're called parallel bars. It's like a gymnast thing, like where you do the flips on a bar and you flip to the other bar and then you M to the B, M to the B, M to the B, pop.
They have the rings. I know that. I had a friend who did gymnastics
Oh,
back in the day.
So you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that. But they're able to do like pull up because they flip on bars all day long. They're able to do pull ups like and keeping their body out.
Are they going?
It's those guys who like pretend to
side
walk.
side?
Yeah, they pretend to walk
Yeah.
up an
It's
invisible
more
wall.
than just core strength.
Yeah, it's like all that. It's
It's
crazy.
all upper body,
Yeah, it's insane.
like shoulders.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I could never do that. I could never do like a flagpole either. Do you know what a flagpole is?
No.
When you hold the bar like that and put
Oh
your-
yeah, no one
put
can
your
do a
body
fucking flagpole. Those
perpendicular.
people are insane. They should just call it a flag because the pole's already doing its job and you're pretending to be the flag.
They call it a flagpole. Why?
That's
I don't know.
dumb. Because they're meatheads. That's why.
Well,
You want to see a flagpole? You're already climbing on it, Trevor. Get off. No, dude. I'm like, check this out.
a regular meathead couldn't do a flagpole. Just because you're strong doesn't mean you can do it.
I don't know. What's
Like,
a meathead?
It requires a lot, like a gym bro. Someone
A bra?
No, it's a gym bro.
Someone who lifts every day.
And doesn't do legs.
They didn't skip leg day. Actually, they do skip leg day.
Every day is not leg day.
Yeah.
Someone-
Meatheads don't do leg day.
Someone who only does bicep curls.
Yeah. One of those the people, what's that, the lunk
Or
alert?
you can't go to Planet
Yeah.
Fitness and set
They
up.
can't.
a
They can't
lunk
go
alarm.
to. They can't go to Planet Fitness because they're lunky.
I don't even know if they're still open. If they're open at all. They're not
Probably
charging
not.
me, so that's cool.
They
I think
shouldn't.
they're closed. Oh well.
If they were still charging you, would you be pissed? Because it's been like 6 months.
No, they stopped. I checked.
Okay. I was gonna say because like I couldn't imagine having a subscription,
A
or,
gym
like,
membership, what, and you can't even fucking go?
Yeah, either that or like season tickets to like a football game, or like season passes to Disneyland. You know, I'd be pissed at any of those things. I'd be like, "What the fuck, dude? Are you kidding me?"
Well, Six Flags was still charging the whole time they were closed.
What?
It's only $8 a month though, so I don't even notice it.
I guess it's not a lot, but
Yeah, I don't even notice. I mean, I believe they're still open, so that's cool if you want to go to Six Flags.
it's always an option.
It's just kind of far and kind of hot right now,
It's fucking hot as shit.
and wearing a mask and whatnot. Probably not that fun.
I can't breathe.
Yeah. Also, I mean, Valencia sucks.
Yeah,
There's nothing out there.
yeah. I thought we'd have a guest today. I don't know what to tell you guys.
This episode fucking sucks.
This episode's the worst. We know it. We're not gonna pretend. It's just we're sorry in advance.
You said you had some points.
I got some points. I'm just gonna dive into those since I got nothing else.
Yeah. I thought that's what you already did.
No. So do you know what is going on with the Oscars?
No, what are they doing with that this year?
So
Did
the
movies even fucking come out?
yeah. Movies are being released and they're still judging them, for the lack of a better term.
That is what they do.
Well, just to what I'm transitioning into. They ended up releasing new guidelines. Fuck me.
Gross.
The worst episode of Two Dudes Drinking Beer, ladies and gentlemen.
That is just
You got to
Alec.
witness it.
It's just Alec blowing his nose and coughing into the microphone for
Amazing.
30 minutes.
Yep. So basically, they're doing, they're trying to be more diverse. They're trying to diversify the industry and award movies with more diverse casts. So what they did was they released like rubrics of like things that studios can do to win the award, and if you don't meet the requirements, you're not eligible to win an Academy Award like an Oscar or anything like that. And
It's shitty.
yeah. So basically there's like two requirements, right? It's like there's four categories. You have to fit two of the four categories. And for instance, like one of them would be like you have to have someone on your team in any part of the filming progress that has to be like transgendered or from a minority group. So you would need someone to be from who identifies as
Like an actor or in the cast or in the crew.
it could even be someone who's like a producer or
So the crew.
or yeah, just crew. It could be like they could be on the craft services table, I think, but they have to be. You have to have someone.
They worked on it.
Yeah, they have to have been there and identified as a member of a minority group. And you could do that, and then you have to fit one more, which is, I think, it has to involve like an actual actor who's from
Be the token black guy.
yeah, essentially, from a minority group, and you have to meet those two at least two. I don't remember the other ones, but there's 4 requirements. You have to meet 2 of them, or you're not qualified to win an Oscar, or even be nominated.
I'm all for like inclusivity and whatnot, and like that's pretty cool. But I mean, that's also like, yeah, Hollywood's whitewashed. It's been like that forever. But that's also just like super shitty to be like,
Mhm. What if it's a really good movie?
yeah, there are definitely a lot of movies that probably don't have people of color or minorities that worked on them. But I mean, like, that doesn't take away the fact they're a good movie.
Yeah, and they said the issue is it's going to really hurt small studios, which are the ones that are like really trying to break out, who need the Oscar, who need the awards and recognition to, you know, get budgeting, you know. So
Look at Parasite. That won like Best Picture, no?
Mhm.
There was no black people in that.
Mhm.
They were all Korean.
I know.
That's
Yeah.
the same thing as having all white people win a Best Picture.
I know.
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Just because they're Korean.
But they're technically the minority
Not really.
in America. In an award ceremony such as the Oscars, yeah.
Yeah, but not to that cat.
But that's the shitty part about it, right? Is because
it's not even that movie wasn't even diverse. It's stupid.
But it's one of those things like there's a rubric now to follow art.
That's dumb.
Yeah,
that irks me, because the whole point of it is like a director.
The whole point's to make a good movie.
Yeah.
The whole point's to make good art.
Director gets a script, or even if it's their own script,
And can interpret it however they see thus.
and it's their vision, and then it's the whole crew's and cast and crew's job to make that vision happen. And to limit that, saying, okay, well, you need at least one transgendered person. Okay, cool. That automatically limits everything you can do, or at least you were going to do, because now you're limited with something. Is it a bad thing? No, because it gives other people certain opportunities that might not have been there before. And that's cool, I guess.
But to say it's mandatory is like, imagine winning the student of the... Have you ever won student of the month?
Yeah, I got something for like attendance one of that.
We talked about this before. Imagine winning student of the month and then like being like in front of the class and they're like, congratulations, Josh. Here's your student of the month award. And you're like, thanks. And they're like, oh wait, you're not gay. Or there's no gay kids in your class. Or there's no black kids in your class. Or there's no Asians. All you are is just a white kid. You did good.
But you're white.
But you're white.
So you don't get shit.
So you don't get shit.
Yeah, I mean...
And that's them trying to be inclusive.
Like I said, I'm all for inclusivity.
Totally. But
to restrict
imagine
qualifications
Imagine if
is rough.
Imagine if the Ghost Inside had to release an album and every album they did had to have at least one gay singer on the chorus. In a chorus. They had to have it was mandatory. You had to have at least one feature from a gay person.
That's dumb.
It's like, how do you... Oh, you can't win a Grammy. How do you... Like, that's not art. Like, is it...
It's policing.
Is it a good strategy? Sure. If you really think about it, like, if Meg Thee Stallion wanted to do a song with Frank Ocean, that would be a good song. It could be a good song. They're both really talented artists. But to say that song has to happen because you need a gay person and a person of color... I think they're both black, actually. They're both black.
Yes, that is confirmed. Yes.
But, you know what I'm saying? Like, to be like, oh, well, there's no white people and one of them's gay. That's art. We can award that. But if Eminem did a song with Logic and it's...
Two whiteys.
And it sold too many copies, it's like, yeah, but
you're both white, so...
You're both white.
No awards.
No Grammy.
Nothing. Get out of here. Go back to Detroit. Wherever Logic's from.
Yeah. The basement. That's all I know. He's from a basement.
So not here because we don't have basements.
We don't got basements out here.
I've always wanted a basement.
That'd be so cool. They like in that 70s show when you're just chilling.
Just a furnished basement.
Yeah, it'd be so sick.
Wouldn't even use it for storage. Just fucking.
No, dude, fuck that. If anyone in the East Coast uses the basement for storage like we do on the West Coast with our garages, then life isn't worth living.
Well, they do. It's all concrete. They have their washing machine down there.
Yeah.
No walls. It's just fucking basically a garage.
It's an extra story. You could do whatever you want down there, man. That'd be so sick.
Yeah, you furnish it. You put carpet down there. Get your AC going down there too.
Be awesome.
Perfect.
Be like
storm shelter.
Dream come true. Totally. Just cans of beans and hamburger helper and.
No, our storm shelters would look completely fucking different.
Why?
Because you would have your cans of beans, your Chef Boyardees.
I wouldn't have Chef Boyardee. I'd have a lot of ramen.
And I'd have my Chef Boyardees. Eat that straight out of the can.
Oh, you mean your shelter like, versus my shelter?
Just what we'd have, yeah.
Totally different, yeah.
Way different.
Yeah, totally different.
Got my Brita.
Mine would be blue. I wouldn't have water. Multiple, yeah. You'd be adequately equipped, and I would be sadly out of supplies in 2 weeks.
I got tortillas and cans of beans.
Yeah, that's the thing too. I wouldn't have even bought anything like with a plan.
Ketchup packets.
I wouldn't have bought anything with a plan. I would have just bought like food. I'm like, that looks like it'll last a while.
It's gone.
Rice, that lasts a long time, right? Rice, yeah, that's got a long shelf life. And it's like
a 1 pound bag. Sweet.
What's for dinner? Rice. What else do you have? Tortillas. What? You want to roll up some rice balls into some tortillas and eat that for dinner? That's all we got. What else you have? Ketchup and mustard. What else? Bologna. What else? I got some Oreos if you want some dessert.
You gotta get a camping stove in there too.
Yeah, I'd die in a week because I'd do a charcoal barbecue down there.
You would gas yourself.
Yeah,
out.
I'd inhale all the fumes. I'd die, but I'd eat good for like a solid 2 days, just like steak.
Just avoid the WD-40.
Yeah, no WD-40 down there. No. If it's squeaking, you let it squeak. Yeah. There's no air coming in or out of this place.
Or duct tape it so it doesn't move anymore.
Make sure of that.
God, that was the worst. I tasted it for like a day and a half after.
I think your burger got all of it.
You're welcome. So, I took the heat for you guys.
Appreciate that.
So you don't have to taste the chemicals. But then again, it only makes me stronger.
There you go. Speaking of making people stronger, before I go to my next point, do you have any points that you'd like to talk about?
No, I don't got dick.
My other point's kind of along the same lines as that. Are you familiar with dead naming?
No, what's that?
So dead naming is if you identified as a woman tomorrow and you said, Alec, I'm a woman, for now on refer to me as Joshina. I'm a woman. And I went online and I said, me and my boy Josh got drunk on Modelo's a week ago on our Wednesday podcast. If you reported that, you could get me banned from Twitter for life now. So dead naming is when you call someone by the inappropriate pronoun, they report you. Twitter now has it in their policy to where they can ban users for life.
That's fucking stupid. And so I understand both sides. So let's say I do identify as something else and I have my preferred pronouns. Let's say I'm non-binary, so I'm them, they.
When you just be, oh, yeah.
Yes, I know what I'm talking about.
I want to make sure.
So let's say I'm them, they, and someone calls me he. I look like a boy. I understand. They say, hey, dude, what's up?
I'd be fucked so hard. I call everyone dude. I call everyone bro.
Nowadays,
we're in California.
It's a fairly gender-neutral term.
We live in California.
We do live in California.
We call everyone bro and dude out here. So everyone's a dude.
So, I mean, granted, just the way I am as a person, I wouldn't get immediately offended. It's like, hey, hey, man, what's up? But
if you were offended or even just wanted to,
like, I would try to say something first. Like, hey, I'm really not a guy. I'd really appreciate if you didn't call me that. Thank you. If it happened like 2 more times after that, I'm like, okay, man, look.
Would you even hang around that person? I mean, that seems to be...
In an online interaction, as it's described.
Block.
I wouldn't. I mean, I'm blocking him after like the fourth time. Be like, hey, you're not listening to what I asked you very politely. Bye. But I wouldn't get them banned. I would just use my own avenues.
Yeah.
It's fucking simple. Don't have to ruin someone else's fun just because you got your panties in a bunch.
Or whatever underwear you decide to wear.
Based on your pronoun.
Based on your pronoun.
I mean, even when I had long hair, people called there was like 2 instances where I was mistaken for a woman. I didn't automatically throw hands with those people.
Because you hit it like a girl.
I could probably knock them out.
Slap the shit out you.
2 hits.
Me hitting you, you hitting the ground.
Yep, that's it. Like, I wasn't offended. Like, I have really long hair.
It's an honest mistake.
Yeah. So, hey, what's up? Like, oh, shit. I didn't think. Like,
hey, what's up, girl? How's it going?
Every time, like, I turned around or said something, they're like, oh, shit, my bad. I'm like, it's okay. I get it a lot. So, I mean, I think that's just more of how I am as a person. And I can't really speak for the LGBTQ community. People like to call them snowflakes. So they could be sensitive. I don't know. But I like to think if I was in their situation, I wouldn't be so fucking sensitive about it.
Yeah, man. And not that, like, living on Twitter is, like, a big deal to me. But I couldn't imagine, like, the culture behind that's so toxic.
It is. Especially if you only did it, like, once.
Yeah, and that's all it takes.
One honest mistake, and you're like, okay, well, banned.
Yeah,
Forever.
imagine if you're like 12 or 13 right now and you see you're going to have to help me out. The Jenner that is transgender. Bruce Jenner. What's
Caitlyn now.
So imagine you see Caitlyn Jenner on Twitter and you post like world's fastest or world record gold medal winning Olympian Bruce Jenner, and she sees that and goes, what the fuck, I'm a girl now. Or, I mean,
if you're referring to the historical point in time, you can still call it Bruce Jenner. Call her Bruce Jenner.
But what if also,
because you're referring to that point in time,
what if they're gender fluid and they go back? Because
if someone's gender fluid and they pull that card, they're a fucking asshole.
Yeah, but hold on, there's I forgot the name again. Caitlyn Jenner. Yes. So Caitlyn Jenner wants to go back to being Bruce Jenner. What if she went back to being he, and then someone who was too young to realize goes, oh shit, Caitlyn Jenner's actually a boy now, and then it's like, hey, yo, I'm not actually transgender anymore. The fuck, it's like it's such a weird slope, and at the same time it's such a double standard. Like, how do you, there's no right way to police that, and they're trying to police it by giving people the right to like cancel someone forever on Twitter.
Yeah, they always say that they have it real bad, and they do. They didn't have rights, at least like gay people couldn't get married for the longest time, and now they can. Really good for them. They always say like the LGBTQ is a suppressed group. Suppressed group.
Oppressed?
Same thing. They've just been pushed down and shoved into a box. But really, not like really, but like, we got it pretty rough too, because we have all, like, as being a white, or not, we don't even have to be white, just like a cis male. Just being like a straight dude. And let's say if Twitter's rolling this out, it's like, okay, then we have to navigate a fucking minefield.
Yeah, what if you call me...
That's pretty fucking rough.
What if you call me faggot?
I'm not asking for like special attention just because I'm straight. But I mean, like, god fucking damn, like that makes it pretty fucking hard for us too.
Even when I said earlier, I think it was on another podcast.
Trying to level the playing field.
There was a word that people who are lesbian preferred to go by.
Yeah, like the convertibles.
Yeah. If they wanted to go by another term, then they could say that. But once they say this is the term I want to go by,
it undermines everything.
If I call someone a lesbian now because I'm not up to date, you know.
A dictionary is a few years late.
Yeah, because I'm not Urban Dictionarying what to make sure to call everyone every hour of the day with the possibility that they're gender fluid. It's like, Bro, I couldn't imagine.
It's a fucking slippery slope, I'll tell you that. And yeah, I mean, that just makes it hard for everyone.
Yeah, you're really just throwing wood on the fire. I mean, because there's, like you said, there's got to be a way to just talk about it if there's really an issue with somebody. Because here's the thing, like, I couldn't imagine the people who threatened to kill me on, like, message boards or, like, video game lobbies. Like, I couldn't imagine, like, actually sitting down and trying to reason with those people.
I think there would have to be, like, a check and balance system. Like, they would have to review, and not just, like, a blanket ban, instant. I think they would have to look at what's being said and the context of it. They'd have to be like at least 3 people. Be like, okay, this is how this person went around this conversation.
It's like
this is the result of it.
Yeah.
How did they handle this?
Was it with malice and
intent? Is it
intent?
multiple times? Is it harassment? If it's harassment, go for it. Get them off the platform. That's reasonable.
That's policy anyway. Yeah.
I'm down with that. They shouldn't be there in the first place. But I mean, if it's like, hey, dude. Oh
shit.
You just call me dude? I'm not a dude. So, okay, well, first of all, I'm sorry. Banned!
It seems like an unjust way to claim to provide justice.
It's a bullshit way to provide justice.
Yeah.
I mean, doesn't really help anyone.
I can't imagine how it would. Because, yeah, and it's another thing, too, like, even the word dead naming. Like, I didn't know that was a thing or a name for it. Every week there's like a new term or a new, like, you know, movement.
I thought when you said dead naming, I thought they would be changing like John Doe and Jane Doe into something else. Like you just give them a fucking name. Well,
John Doe, Jane Doe.
Is Robert. No last name, just Robert.
Just Rob.
That's what I was expecting with dead naming.
Nope, it's just when you call someone by a name, they identify as dead to them.
I get that. That makes sense. That's actually a really cool name then.
I think dead name is a cool name for it.
It's a cool term.
Cool term, but
shitty application.
Yeah, right?
At least on Twitter.
I mean, and look, I mean, it still is what it is. It's just they turned dead naming into an act of like egregious verbal assault.
If you're being harassed, I can understand. If you don't want this
call
person
the police
to continue to harass you, do that or block them.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like,
report them.
People who like threaten to kill me and like find where I live. Like, not only that, but like just working at the drive-thru at McDonald's. Like, people threaten to kill you all the time because they're fucking crazy. Because there's people in this world who are fucking sane. They're on drugs.
And then they just drive off.
And then they hang out at McDonald's all day because that's what their life is. And then they drive away because what else are they going to do? So it's so crazy because it's like, you know, for me, it's like and I'm not obviously saying that hate has any place in speech, but you got to draw the line at like the principle is like, if hate speech is freedom of speech, I still stand by freedom of speech.
I don't think hate speech falls under freedom of speech. I think you lose freedom of speech at any point where your speech intends to harm people. I think that's where the line is drawn with freedom of speech.
Is it?
Yeah. Like as soon as you say like, that's why you're not allowed to say like.
Isn't that the same thing though?
This is an example. Let's say I'm going to shoot a school, and I say that on Twitter. Mm-hmm. That's no longer freedom of speech. That is an active threat.
It couldn't be rhetoric?
No.
Hyperbole?
I can be arrested for that.
That's gay.
Why? You can't actively
I've
go
said
around
I was going to shoot a school on
shit.
this podcast a few times as a joke. I was joking.
No, you have not.
Thought I have.
I've never heard you say that before. But like kids, I believe this happened at fucking Westlake. Someone said they were going to call a school shooting or a bomb threat at the AP tests, and they showed up at their fucking house like 2 hours later and almost arrested the kid.
Yeah.
Like you can't do that.
It's different. It's different to be like, I go to this school, and if we host the AP test, I'm going to blow it up. That's a threat. That's a threat you need to investigate. If it's, I was so mad at traffic today, I could kick a baby. You're not going to put a restraining order on someone to keep 50 feet away from kids. There's other good reasons for that.
But still, there's a certain point where your speech can be considered harmful, where it's no longer a freedom to say that.
But isn't that like historically bad? Because historically speaking, there is always, like slaves never had the right to gather or be educated because
they didn't have rights. They weren't considered people. Exactly,
but they kept them separate and they didn't give them rights, and they didn't let them learn how to speak because they didn't want them to like plot against the
white man.
Yeah, the plantation owners or their owners to revolt or like start a riot or anything. So isn't that the same in principle? Isn't that the same to say the US government doesn't want people saying XYZ to incite violence because we don't want them to rise up against the US government if it means taking lives?
What does that have to do with that?
Because look, if people are, if you have the right to gather, right? Peacefully.
Yes.
So gather peacefully. Mm-hmm. But if you were to get violent, that makes it illegal.
Yes.
So if you talk shit about violence, about killing, about murder, but you don't do it, it shouldn't be illegal.
It doesn't matter. It's still, can still be perceived as a threat, which is illegal because it's considered, well, it's not considered hate speech.
Threatening's not illegal though.
It is in certain states. Yes, it is.
I was gonna say I've seen someone threaten. I forgot who I was with.
In certain states, if you say you're going to do something on the internet, you are legally bound by it. That's why it's really hard to do giveaways online. And if the person doesn't do the giveaway, they can be sued for it. You can't say, "Hey, whoever," this is not true. This is not true.
But
again,
I would have gave $50 away whoever gets that steak.
Keep saying it's not true every 2 seconds, okay?
It's not
Can you do
true.
that for me?
It's not true.
We're going to do this giveaway. I'm going to give away $10,000 to the first person who likes this video.
It's not true.
And if I don't
it's not true.
Okay, you can stop. And if I don't do that, I don't know what the law is in California, but let's say it's if I don't do something I say on the internet, it's illegal. And I don't give away the $10,000, which isn't true.
Just in fucking case.
And I don't give away this money, then I can be sued and held for
ransom.
Not ransom, but it's like a misinformation or just like libel or some shit. Okay. Point is, it's illegal. You can't. You're held. The no longer is the age of I'm behind a screen. I'm anonymous. Mm-hmm. I can say whatever I want.
But what about like in comedy routines, right? Like Anthony Jeselnik has a special called "Fire in the Maternity Ward." So tonally, you can read that title and understand that this is not going to be content suited for faint of heart, right? Parental advisory warning or trigger warnings or whatever it is. And if he says a joke about like, so anyway, I shot up my school. Couldn't the argument be made that like he's giving the idea because like
it's different in person than when you say it on the internet, because in person there's body
well that's what I'm saying
tone.
Like
if you're just type out a tweet, hey, I'm going to shoot up my school, there's nothing to go off of. You don't see this person, you don't see how they're reacting to saying it, you don't see how they're physically look.
Well, I think I think the word
all you have is text to go off of. It's like, is this dangerous? Probably.
That's what I'm saying though. I think the word there is super important. If someone says I'm going to shoot up my school, that's going to be okay. What school do they go to? You could look into that. You could do this. You could do that.
You can get across the country in Raul. How fast? Fucking a couple of hours.
Mm-hmm. If you fucking
that's just driving.
Grind,
you can fly somewhere. Mm-hmm. Be across. You can be in New York in like 4 hours.
I don't think that's true.
Probably.
Flying in a plane?
Yeah.
Maybe. Okay, if you're flying in a plane, I think they'll fly like down a highway.
No, in a plane.
What the fuck? Yeah, sure.
You could be anywhere in the United States in like 4 hours.
Yeah, totally.
So at that point, is it fair to say I can shoot up anywhere?
Yes.
Yeah. So then anything that has to do with certain things that put you on an FBI watch list, supposedly I don't even think those exist.
They definitely exist.
I don't think so.
It's an algorithm. It's all algorithms.
Probably on one. So anything that like shows up on those watch lists, like they're gonna flag you and probably go find you.
Mm-hmm. I forgot where any of this is going.
The freedom of speech is a very blurred topic, and as soon as you reach a certain threshold, the things you say that may be harmful or hurtful are no longer part of your freedom.
I think you should be able to say whatever you want whenever you want. That's what freedom of speech is.
But at a certain point, if you cause harm or has the intent to harm,
You should be held
accountable.
responsible.
You
Yes.
should be held accountable for whatever
But you should
say.
be able to say what you want to say. If you say kill this person and that person gets killed, I think there should be some repercussion if you have 1 million followers and 10,000 of them go and try to kill somebody that you say you want killed. I think you should definitely be held some part responsible.
The freedom of speech is essentially saying you can say whatever you want, but there may not be any repercussions. The repercussions are set in place. It's a very broad term, the freedom. Yes,
We all have the freedom to own a house.
There is literally nothing stopping you from talking, unless someone
Well, that's what I'm
cuts your
saying.
vocal cords.
That's the ridiculous part of it to me, is because it's always like when I told you earlier, it was not even earlier, but like I've said this before, is like you can't control somebody. You can't really control somebody.
No, and so that's what they say. It's a freedom because
you can't stop them.
There's
so
nothing
don't
stopping
pretend like
you from
you can.
saying anything. But what exists now is that if I say, which isn't true, I'm gonna go blow up a school. I'm gonna go blow up the school down the street. Not true. I can be held accountable for that, and I can be arrested. As soon as you say something that's harmful,
even what you just said now, which is going to be put on the internet,
which is not true. It's not a true statement. And
I get that.
That's why I'm clarifying.
But if you didn't clarify, it's not true. You could be held responsible.
It can be perceived as a threat, as an imminent threat. Yes. The freedom I have is I can say that if I really want to.
Mm-hmm.
The repercussions exist that I will be arrested.
I get that. I'm just saying there shouldn't be repercussions for just saying it.
You don't know if there's intention behind it.
I do. You said it's not real.
Yes.
If the school blew up tonight when I went home, I'd be like, that's a weird coincidence.
And what I'm
the
saying,
last thing I would think was Josh actually went out of his way to blow up a school.
And what I'm saying is, in a tweet, if someone's just tweeting,
sure,
LOL, school shooting, ? You have literally nothing to go off of. And if you go to that school that
investigate
person
it, sure,
typed it, yeah, that means going to that fucking person's house, putting them into custody, and questioning them.
Do that then. That's fine.
That's what they do. That's
but
what
that's
I'm saying.
not arresting
That's what they do.
You're saying they arrest them. They go to jail.
That is being arrested. You're putting in custody is basically you're being arrested. Being charged is going to jail.
You right.
I am right. Yes.
You right.
Being arrested is just being taken to the police station.
Yeah.
Getting charged is going to jail.
I remember one time I was in a parking lot and someone threatened to kill us. And my mom called the cops, and the cops came, and the guy was at the park across the street. And my mom was like, that's the guy right there. And the cop was like, what'd he say? He said, I'm going to kill you and your family. And the cop goes, well, that's just a threat. I can't arrest someone for making a threat.
That was also
The cop got in his car and he drove probably home. It was probably the end of his shift and didn't want to deal with it.
That was also like 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Things have changed since then, my boy.
All I'm saying is that happened.
Also, in person is a lot harder to defend because unless it's being recorded, you have nothing to go off of.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it's a lot more severe and impactful online.
Do you think if he killed us, the cop left and came back, he'd be like, ah, shit. Or he'd just be like, fucking my hands are tied.
You're under arrest?
I don't know what to do, man. You
I
got
guess.
me. You really waited till that last minute. You just fucking, you made it happen. The piece de resistance.
The least he could have done is talk to the other party. That cop just didn't really do what he thought was right. So,
Yeah. It's just weird being on the side of like that, you know.
being on the other end of a threat.
Well, being told you're gonna die and
Of
kill
an
your
empty-
family, and then a cop's just like, well, I can't do anything for a threat. So when I hear anything about freedom of speech, it's like, well, yeah, someone told me they're gonna kill me and my family. So it's like,
You can get in trouble for a threat.
yeah, on the internet apparently is the only way.
And in person, if it's documented.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you have video or recording, which everyone's quick to pull up video cameras for
Yeah.
anything, every little thing.
It's not hard.
So I mean, unless it's documented, because then it's just the classic he said, she said.
Yeah,
It's like, okay, well, who?
that's got to be.
who
That's got to
looks
be.
more trustworthy.
That's
Who?
that's racist. That's got to be the niche is what you just said is if it's documented. If it's written down online, it's documented. So if it's not written out, then it's not in existence.
If it's documented, it's evidence.
Yeah, that's true. That makes sense.
If it's just I say this into open air, nothing hearing me, nothing taking video, no pictures, no nothing. No
Then
stenographer.
you're free to say it because the truth is
No, you're not free to say it. You shouldn't say that shit in the
okay.
first
I'm not
place.
okay. Look, I'm still ironing this out. I think you're right. I'm agreeing with you more and more.
100% right.
I'm agreeing with you more and more. But I'm saying shit like you're free to say it, but because it wasn't written, essentially, no one heard it, etc., etc., it doesn't matter because.
I mean, it still matters, but I mean, like, all your words hold the same weight no matter what
But it can't be
context.
held as evidence.
No.
But if you write it on Twitter, evidence.
Yes, it's evident.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like it makes more sense now to me that you're saying if someone says I want to shoot up a school online, which no one is. I think,
If a tree falls in the middle of a forest, no one's around to hear it. Doesn't make a sound.
and that's what I'm saying. I'm saying you're right, and I'm understanding it like this. If I said to you in private I was going to go kill somebody, that's he said, she said. There's no evidence.
Yes.
Whereas if I posted on
It's all
Twitter,
speculation.
it can be a threat and it could be used as evidence as
Yes, and you will
As
be
the threat.
arrested. Yes.
got it. That makes more sense.
Assuming the people on the other end of the law who are have received this information are competent.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, that's always a possibility.
So that's that. Yep.
Wow. Well,
Freedom of speech is loosely a freedom.
all freedoms are loosely a freedom.
Yeah. Go buy a gun. That's a freedom.
The right to bear arms.
Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for being here so much. This is episode like 36. Supposed to have
Really?
a guest. Something like that.
30 something for sure.
I think it's 36.
I think it's 35.
35 was last.
Then it's 36.
We're supposed to have a guest. We're definitely going to have a guest next week. I know that for sure. It's actually going to be...
No, it's a surprise.
It is a surprise. The fucking people don't know who it is.
That's fine. Then it's an even bigger surprise.
It's a surprise.
Then we can talk about the journey.
There's going to be another nugget surprise too next week. You're going to see a little bit more of us. I'll leave you with that. Goodbye.
Thanks for hanging out with us.